Here with Celtics center Enes Kanter. Enes, I appreciate you taking the time, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
So, what has your quarantine lifestyle been like? I know you were saying off camera you've gained some weight.
Yeah.
What is that? What is your quote unquote off season or break
Yeah.
been?
I mean, I did gain weight. I'm not gonna lie, at least like to like the 67 pounds. But the good thing is it's in Ramadan, so I'm not like just going crazy about the food. But quarantine actually, I'm trying to stay active and productive as much as I can because I mean, like we always make excuses about how busy our schedule is, the practices, games. So right now, I feel like this is like the best time to invest in your future. So
Right.
I'm actually trying to, trying to read a lot of books, watch a lot of documentaries. I'm actually trying to learn how to cook. I remember my mom told me like, "Hey, son, you better learn how to cook. I'm not gonna be there for you the rest of your life." So like, I'm trying to. I end up eating cereal almost every time, but like, I'm trying. This is boring, right? It's like we're not stuck in the house. We're safe at the house, but at the same time, we're like, you just want to do something,
You're also interacting with your teammates. What has that been
right?
like? Have you guys been getting on Zoom calls? What have you guys been doing to stay connected?
I feel like we still need to, because like you miss your teammates, man. Because like you play with them so much, it's like they become your brothers. So like we actually have like every Tuesday we got this chapels. I mean, I just it doesn't matter whatever you believe in. You just want to get on it to just hang out with your teammates. And every Wednesday actually, and it's just been so amazing, like positive. We have this, inspirational, just this meetings. The Celtics invites some of the, the legends, and then they just give us some like amazing talks about, how to stay positive. Just lately, Ken John came, Mr. Chow from Hangover, Mark Wahlberg came. I think like just the last week, David Ortiz and Paul Pierce came, and it's been amazing, man. Just to see them what they doing, what kind of hobby that they're into. So it's been fun.
Going back to your relationship with Turkey, this is something that you've talked about openly.
Right.
I believe you have your dad's case coming up shortly. Where does your relationship stand with Turkey, as well as
Yeah.
with your dad?
Yeah, I mean, it's been definitely been the tough whatever years, man. Because like, uh, because your family is above everything, and it's just to not be able to even talk to them is definitely very rough. But my dad's situation, I mean, they put him in jail for 7 days, and uh, we put so much pressure from here to Turkey. They let him out, and now every 3 to 4 months he goes to a trial, and they just literally accusing him just being my dad. That's his charges. But I mean, right now, people are just keep asking me that question, like, are you not worried about your endorsement deals? Are you not worried about? Because I heard that some of the owners are scared to just say, okay, hey, we don't want to just go against the whole country. We just sign another center. I heard about that a lot. After I signed with the Celtics, I heard that from many people. But I mean, people. I don't know if people understand this or not, but this is bigger than basketball, man. There's so many people out there just losing their lives and losing their loved ones and homes. So I'm like, I understand. I want to make, just playing a good teams and make a lot of money. But I mean, just there's something bigger happening than the money or whatever. I mean, it's tough, man. It's definitely tough. But I know what I'm doing is bigger than basketball on myself. So I don't regret it.
One thing I hear from every teammate that you played with is that, you're one of the most loyal, guys that they played with, a guy that they know will go to war at any moment. But, when you talk to your teammates, when they try to give you advice like that, has there ever been anyone that you've really had to listen to and you're like, man, you know what, I might have to, calm down or stop what I'm doing? Or for you, it's always been, I know what my mindset is on and I know what I'm going to do.
Mm. I mean, most of the time, just because it's a very confusing conversation and it's families involved, like people are scared. Like players are scared to ask questions. Because like I walk in a locker room. I remember I was with the Knicks. I walk in a locker room one day, and there was this big news out there. Oh, there's an arrest warrant for Enes. For then, if he goes back to Turkey, there's gonna be 4 years in jail. Or I walked in a locker room again. Another news was like, oh, Turkish government put Enes' name on Interpol. So like it is very touchy conversation, especially just because of the families involved. My teammates are like, should I ask? Should I not ask? But most of them, man, it's just I always like get the just the the positive answers. I don't think I heard a negative and say, hey, just keep your mouth shut, or just I don't think I heard that from anybody. I mean, just this year, um, I had to go to DC for the meeting with some senators and congressmen, but we had practice and we had game the next day. I talked to Coach Brad, that coach, you know, I know team comes first, but what do you think I should do? He said, go to DC. You know, so I literally just did not join the practice. I skipped the video that we always watch, whatever the other teams, and I went to DC. I met with some lawmakers and stuff, and I came back, and then I appreciate. I thanked the coach and everybody else, because I mean, they know, they can see that how much I care about this stuff.
When you look at your relationship with Turkey, do you think there is a way to salvage it? Do you think there is something down the line that you guys could work out, or do you think it's too far gone?
See, like when I talk about this stuff with Turkey, it's like people think I have a problem with my country. No, I mean, I love my country, I love my people. My problem is with the regime in Turkey, you know. So, and Turkey could be the bridge of Islam and West, but just because of this stuff is happening, it's impossible. And I think only thing to solve the problem if the regime will change. If the regime changes, I know because I mean I know Turkish people, man, they're smart, they're intelligent people, and they will know the right decision. But just because of the government this controls the media, and if you say anything against the government, they will come and literally just shut down all your media outlets and stuff. So like they're scared.
Player like Hedo Turkoglu, right? A former NBA player.
Yep,
I saw, you've gotten into it with him a little
yep,
bit. I believe he blocked you on Instagram.
he did. That's messed up.
When did that happen? And is that because of his relationship with the government and obviously your resentment for where the government's at there? Is that really what's behind all that?
Me and Hudo was really cool. We actually played in the national team back in 2011. It was me. I mean, when I joined NBA, it was me, Hido, and Mehmet Okur, the first Turkish All-Star player. So we were all cool. We always go outside to eat and stuff. I remember one time Hido was playing for the Clippers, and they actually and Hido Memo was retired, but he was with Utah, and we all went out to eat. And I told Hido, I was like, look, this guy, I'm talking about the President Erdogan, is using you. So he did, and he's like, oh no, he's like the prime minister of the Turkey back then, and he's not going to use me this and that. And then next thing I know, that he became like the ambassador for the Turkish president, and he became like the head of Turkish national team. And from after that, he literally just went out to the CNN Turk or like every big media outlet and started that math with me. I'm like, dude, we were cool, but now, like, just because of you start working for the Turkish government now, and you're gonna do this to me? And he blocked me on Instagram, and we would get into it a couple times on Twitter. But like, I feel bad for him, man. I definitely feel sad. All I can do is just pray for him right now. But right now, all he cares about is position and his money. And other than that, man, he just it's definitely a big shame.
You guys came really, really close in 16. In
Yeah,
2016, you guys were up 3-1. I mean,
yeah,
when you guys take that 3-1 lead, how much, I mean, I can only imagine how much confidence you guys had, and then to see
yep,
it flip the other
yep.
way. How emotional do you remember that being for
Ugh,
for a guy like Kevin,
um,
for Russell, for you guys?
man, I still remember going. I mean, it's the 19th. Whenever I go back to the Golden State Arena, I'm like, I hate this arena. I hate this arena because it was so emotional. I remember game seven. I remember going to a game seven. I saw in people's eyes. It was like we just didn't have it. Everybody was down because like blow up like a 3-1 lead. It was tough. But going to a game seven, I saw people. It was like a bad. We were in a bad mood. And I remember when we lost that game, I think everybody was crying in the locker room. I don't think I see anybody who's not crying,
KD,
because
Russ, everyone.
I see. I remember. Steven Adams was sitting right next to me. He was crying. I remember I was crying, and I see other players. I can't remember specifically about who, but like I don't think any player was not crying. That's how I remember from. I mean, 2016. It was a long time ago, but it was just tough, man, because like we were so close friends, and you spend your whole summer to just win some. And I know we could have beat uh, Cavs. We could have beat Cavs.
Right.
That was like that was the hard part, you know. But I'm like, then I was like, and then after the game over, you know, the next day, I'm like, you know what? We have everything to go out there and win a championship. We're just gonna get back next year and try to do the same thing. And so I was heartbroken when KD left because we could have an amazing another shot to win a championship.
If you look at how that ended up going, do you think if there wasn't maybe a struggle of power between those two guys that it could have lasted, or do you think that it was going to go that way anyway?
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's a tough question. I mean, you know what? I mean, I people were saying like, oh, KD and Russ did not get along. They did get along. I mean, they were good friends on and off the court. KD was just very quiet. He wasn't really talking to many people. But Russ was just a little more outgoing and just well, he was like the jokester. I know it's tough. It's very hard to believe, but he was like he was make people laugh and stuff. But I think if KD didn't leave, we could have win a championship just the next year.
Right.
I believe that.
You guys became really close. I think that was a surprising relationship, at least to the public. But what about Russell? I know you mentioned being a jokester, but what about Russell? Do people not understand or get that you would shed light on as someone that's close to him?
I mean, for us, man, ask any of his teammates. His teammates loves him. Like if you play with him, you love him. But if you play against him, you hate him. Because like for him, I remember, man, like when I play with him, I mean, it's my like how many years I've been in the league. I have so many friends in the different teams, right?
Right.
Whenever I see him, I'm like, I put my head down because if I say hi to them, Russell was just literally destroying me. Because like, how do you say hi to me? You're about to go to war. Why are you talking to the other players? You should not be talking and stuff. So like every time I see my friends, man, I was scared. I was just putting my head down. I'm like, okay, I'm not saying hi to nobody, you know. But he's a chill dude, man. I mean, I always say this like he's. I remember one time Sabonis. So when he was a rookie, he brings Snapples and gummy bears in a plane for us, and he brought diet Snapple, and Russell went off on him. He's like, "Why are you bringing diet Snapple? That thing doesn't taste like anything. You gotta bring me a regular Snapple." So like, he's a good dude, man. He chills like he. I mean, he always have this like he gets under people's skin and he always screams and yells. But if you're his teammate, you will love him.
So that is like normal throughout the whole team, is that no talking to other players, gotta keep your distance.
If
Is that
if
something?
you're in his team, man, nope. Like I was with trying to think. I was with Boston Celtics, right? And the Houston came into play. I tried to talk to him. Nope. Not talking to me. I'm like, dude, I'm like one of your best friends. Just say hi. He's like, nope. I'll talk to you after the game. I'm like, okay, sure.
Playing with Damian Lillard, and that's a guy that I think a lot of people underrate. But where do you
Yeah.
rank him as far as like the league's top players, and what was your
Oh
experience like with
man.
him?
I feel like he's definitely top four point guards in the league. I think like CJ and Dame, like they don't talk about them enough. It's just so amazing to just see how that two is definitely one of the best duo in the whole league. And then it was just so impossible to guard him. And obviously when Nurkic goes down, man, it was just that definitely one of like the saddest moment in my career because you don't want to see your brother goes down like that, you know. So like I remember we won that game, but like after that game, man, everybody was just mentally, was just not there. Well, I could not sleep that night. But going against an OKC, I'm like, man, I do not want to go against OKC in a playoffs. And we won that last game. We were either gonna go against the Jazz or OKC, and then I'm like, oh, I don't know, I don't want OKC because I know how Dame and Russ always go against each other, and they're both my good friends. I'm like, ugh, I don't know, want to go OKC. But I'm glad. I mean, we won that game with Dame's crazy shot. I mean, I don't think I ever seen any shot like that before. And
That was remarkable.
that I mean, it was separated my shoulder. I'm like, if he did, I wasn't gonna play the next game. I was
Right.
like, So and then he made that shot, beat Denver. I don't know. It was a wild series.
And another thing that you did uniquely last year, and I believe in years past, is that you played through Ramadan and
Hmm.
you go through with your fast. I know you fast on your own as well, like on Mondays and Wednesdays. But
Hmm.
what's the process in terms of getting the energy that you need to play in a 6 o'clock game, a 7 o'clock game during
Yeah.
Ramadan, which you're fasting all day?
So it's like I try to fast. I mean, I fast since I was 8, 9 years old. So my body is used to, just fasting. Especially it's actually a sunnah. I try to fast Mondays and the Thursdays, once or twice a week during the season. So once Ramadan hits, man, it's just not hard at all. And especially last year during like the playoffs, everybody was asking like, "Oh, hey, are you gonna fast?" But I'm like, I'm used to this, there's no problem. But I remember going to a Denver game. I told it was the first day of Ramadan. I actually texted Hakeem. I was like, "Hey, man," because I know he was fasting.
Right.
I think it was during back in '95 or '92. I can't remember. And he won like a Player of the Month or MVP or something. So it
Well, he
inspired
won a
me.
championship that year too.
Yeah,
So
but that's Hakeem. That's Hakeem. Obviously, I'm not saying I'm like Hakeem, but like he inspired me. You know.
right.
So like I texted him like, "Hey, dude, like, how did you do it? What did you eat and stuff?" He just said he was just eating oatmeal, dates, and water. I'm like, there's no way I can survive with this. That's impossible. But he was just giving me like a lot of talk about like, oh, he was just so proud that I was doing what my religion asked me to do and stuff. But I got so much respect from my teammates. Obviously they had so much question in their mind and stuff. But like when I explained them, they had so much respect for it. And I think going to Denver, it was very tough already with altitude. But I was like, you know what? Game of basketball is mental over physical. So I'm just gonna go out and try to show the whole world that I can do it.
What does Enes Kanter want to do, and what will he do once his career is over?
Oh, I'm definitely becoming a WWE wrestler for sure. I'm actually already have this offers from WWE, but like I'm like, hey, dude, I gotta finish my basketball career first. So like after my career, I'm definitely becoming one.
Oh, that's I don't know if that's breaking news, but we'll take it.
Well, they'll do it.
Your favorite player in the NBA right now, not yourself,
Besides the Celtics, I was just
besides the Celtics player and yourself. Yes,
I go with Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook. Your favorite NBA moment that you've ever been a part of in your career?
Oh, last year, Dame's shot for sure. I mean, that's like my favorite moment of my whole basketball career.
I feel like that should be in its own category, though. Is there another moment? Is there another
That's
favorite
like I I remember the shot that he took against the Houston Rockets. I was in Turkey watching it. I'm like, wow, that should be special to be part of it. Here
moment?
we
Right.
are, like what, 5 years later, having the same moment. I'm like, this is crazy.
But that shot was something special. Like to step back, that was
Yes,
what,
over Paul
35
George,
feet, 40 feet? Like,
one of the best defenders out there, Paul George. Let me tell you something. Paul George says it's a bad shot. It is not a bad shot for him. He actually, when I saw with Portland, man, he works on that shot. I'm like, what is this dude doing? And he started like pulling up from like the logos. I'm like, okay, they call him the logo Lillard.
just insane. I remember that shot. That was
Yeah.
one of the best shots ever. Um, and last one, KD or LeBron?
I go with LeBron. I love
Interesting.
KD. I go with LeBron. What he does on and off the court,
Right.
and I'm going with LeBron.
Ennis, man, I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you for joining us. Be safe, be healthy,
Yep,
and hopefully we'll see you on the court soon, man.
for sure, my man. Thank you a lot. Appreciate it. Happy Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Mubarak.